There's a moment, subtle yet undeniable, when you begin to question the nature of your own thoughts. They've been there all along, shaping your reality, whispering narratives into your mind, influencing how you see yourself, others, and the world. But have you ever stopped to ask, who is thinking these thoughts? They come and go like waves, some gentle, some violent. Some seem harmless, while others grip you with an unshakable force, dragging you deeper into their current. Yet, through it all, there remains something constant. You, the observer, the one who listens, the one who experiences. But here's the truth. Not all thoughts serve you. Some thoughts multiply like wildfire, feeding on your attention, drawing you into endless loops of worry, doubt, and fear. Others are quieter, like passing clouds, appearing briefly before dissolving into nothingness. And here's where the great divide lies. Negative thoughts demand your presence, cling to you, trap you. Positive thoughts, they don't beg for attention. They don't scream. They simply exist, content in their own light. So why does the mind latch onto the negative? Why do certain thoughts replay over and over like a song stuck on repeat? And more importantly, can you step outside of them? This is the call. Not to simply think better thoughts, but to awaken to the deeper reality behind them. To see thoughts for what they truly are, passing echoes in the vast expanse of your awareness. And if thoughts are just echoes, then what lies beyond them? To start subtly, a single thought, maybe doubt, maybe fear, drifts into your mind. At first, it seems harmless, just another fleeting whisper in the endless stream of mental chatter. But then it lingers. It asks for your attention. It wants to be fed. You give it a moment, just a fraction of your focus, and suddenly, it's not alone. It multiplies. One thought triggers another and then another. Like links in a chain, they bind together, tightening their grip until the weight of them is all you can feel. Negative thoughts don't like to travel alone. They seek company, pull in reinforcements, and before long, they build a story, a narrative you didn't ask for but somehow feel compelled to believe. A single doubt becomes an entire scenario. A simple worry turns into an inevitable disaster. And the mind doesn't argue. It doesn't question whether these thoughts are true or not. It reacts. The body follows. Your breath shortens. Your heart rate shifts. Tension builds where there was once ease. The cycle deepens. Here's the trick. Negative thoughts are sticky. They demand your energy. They thrive in repetition. The more attention you give them, the more they grow, weaving themselves into the fabric of your reality. But here's a question. What happens if you don't engage? If you don't react? If you just let them pass, like echoes in a vast, empty space? Negative thoughts want you to fight them because in the struggle, they survive. But in awareness, true awareness, something different happens. Something begins to break. A thought is never just a thought. It moves. It expands. It reaches into the body, shaping the way energy flows through you. Some thoughts lift, creating lightness, clarity, ease. Others weigh heavy, pressing into your chest, tightening your breath, draining the very essence of vitality. Your body listens. It responds. Every emotion, every sensation, subtle or overwhelming, has a root in the mind. A single anxious thought sends ripples through the nervous system. A single moment of gratitude softens tension you didn't even realize you were carrying. Doctors speak of stress like it's just a concept, but you know it's more than that. It's a force, presence. It keeps you awake at night, knots your stomach, dulls your senses. And what is stress, really? Nothing but thought, persistent, invasive thought, looping without release. What the mind holds, the body echoes. What the body feels, the mind reinforces. It's a cycle that shapes everything. Your health, your decisions, your perception of life itself. And yet, there's something else. A space. A choice. The moment between thought and reaction. The moment where awareness steps in and asks, is this thought worth carrying? Because if thought has the power to shape reality, then knowing which thoughts to give power to changes everything. Negative thoughts are relentless. They demand attention, repeat themselves, and insist on staying. But positive thoughts, they don't fight for space. They don't cling. They arrive, offer a moment of clarity, and then drift away, as if content with their brief existence. It seems unfair. The thoughts that bring lightness, that inspire, that heal, why don't they take root the way negative ones do? Why doesn't the mind hold onto them with the same intensity? Because positivity doesn't need to dominate. It doesn't need to multiply to survive. A single genuine positive thought, a moment of deep appreciation, of peace, of awe, has the power to shift everything. Not because it overpowers negativity, but because it doesn't compete with it. That's the paradox. The mind is wired to hold onto what feels urgent, and negativity thrives on urgency. It convinces you that it must be resolved, dissected, understood. But positivity doesn't beg for your attention. It simply exists, steady and unwavering, like a lighthouse in the distance. And yet, here's the truth: positive thinking alone isn't the answer. Filling the mind with pleasant thoughts won't dissolve the weight of negativity. The real shift happens when there's awareness, when there's presence, when thoughts, positive or negative, are seen for what they truly are, passing currents in the vast ocean of consciousness. The question is, will you keep chasing thoughts, or will you step into the stillness beyond them? Some thoughts don't just linger, they spread. They pass from person to person, multiplying like wildfire, embedding themselves deep in the collective mind. A single idea, repeated enough times, becomes truth, whether or not it ever was. It happens quietly. A headline, a rumor, a belief whispered often enough to take root. And soon it's no longer just a thought, it's an identity. Entire groups, entire societies shaped by mental viruses that go unquestioned. These viral ideas don't need proof. They don't need logic. They only need emotion, fear, outrage, certainty. They feed on reaction, on division, on the desperate need to belong. They hijack the mind, turning individuals into echo chambers, repeating what they've absorbed, convinced it was their own. Look at the world. See how easily people fall into patterns of belief, how quickly ideas take hold, not because they were chosen, but because they were caught. Political ideologies, conspiracies, prejudices, they don't thrive because they are true. They thrive because they spread. And here's the real danger. Once infected, the mind resists questioning. The thought no longer feels like a thought, it feels like you. But the mind is not meant to be a cage. Awareness is the antidote. The ability to pause, to question, to step back and ask, is this thought truly mine? That's where freedom begins. Because the most dangerous thoughts are not the ones that come and go. The most dangerous thoughts are the ones that convince you they are the only truth. Thoughts are relentless. They come, they go, they shape the way life is experienced. But there is something beyond them. Something quieter, deeper, more real. Most people never question the voice in their head. They believe they are that voice. The constant chatter, the commentary, the memories replaying, the worries spiraling. It feels like self. But what if it's not? What if the real you is the one who notices the thoughts, not the one who thinks them? There is a space between thoughts, a gap so subtle it's often missed. In that space, there is no worry, no past, no future. Just presence. Just awareness. And in that awareness, something shifts. The mind resists silence, craves movement, problems to solve, narratives to build. But when stillness is allowed, true stillness, something remarkable happens. The grip of thought loosens. The endless cycle of mental noise begins to fade. And for the first time, there is clarity. This is not about forcing the mind to stop thinking. Thoughts will come as they always do. But now, they are seen from a distance, like clouds passing in an open sky. They lose their control. They lose their weight. And in that moment, thought is no longer the master. Awareness is. There is a moment when everything shifts, not because life changes, but because awareness does. A moment when the endless noise of the mind takes a step back, and something deeper steps forward. Presence. Presence is not a thought. It's not an idea to believe in or a concept to understand. It's an experience, the experience of being fully here, fully alive, without the weight of past regrets or future anxieties. It is the space where life actually happens. And within that presence, something else awakens. Gratitude. Not forced gratitude, not the kind that comes from obligation, but a natural, effortless appreciation that arises when the mind stops searching for something else. A simple breath, the warmth of sunlight on the skin, the stillness between heartbeats. When presence deepens, these things are no longer background noise. They become everything. Gratitude is not about adding something new. It's about seeing what has always been here. When the mind stops chasing, stops clinging, stops demanding, what remains is enough. More than enough. This is why presence is powerful. Not because it gives you something, but because it reveals what was never missing. Freedom is not the absence of struggle. It is not the elimination of every negative thought or the perfect control of the mind. Freedom is something else entirely. It is the realization that you are not your thoughts, that they may come and go, rise and fall, but they do not define you. The storm may rage, but the sky remains untouched. For so long, the mind has been the master, pulling, pushing, demanding attention. But now there is distance. Now there is awareness. And in that awareness, a choice emerges, to engage or to let go. This is not about rejecting thought. It is about no longer being bound by it, no longer being trapped in the stories the mind tells, no longer being controlled by emotions that rise and fall like waves. In this space, life unfolds differently. Presence replaces resistance. Gratitude replaces lack. Silence replaces noise. And what remains is something deeper than happiness, deeper than peace. What remains is you.